Quick video, this is the final consensus on Gdoll and Castor from the three big guide makers from every community. I somewhat talked to Taki and Arki from the Chinese and the Hong Kong and the Taiwan community. Now, Arki makes the tier list. Her tier list is on my spreadsheet. And Taki is the head of the main Taiwan forum for Morimens. And this is their final review on Castor. I'm going to do Castor first. He's a tier 1.5 unit. They do a tier list from tier 0 to tier 5, with tier 0 being highest. And Castor is tier 1.5 in this book. He's A tier in mine. What Arki says about him, Arki thinks she thinks Castor is a tier 1 unit and a tier 0 unit if plus 12, which is extended investment with high DPS. But generally, he's A to S tier, depending on who you ask. He's very good. And all three of us agree that his wheel is S tier. You have to pull his wheel, his hand limit. Now, regarding Gdoll, all four main community guide makers, me, Taki, Arki, Ernest, all agree she is S tier or tier 0 in their book. And she's a must pull. Over limit without thinking. New players must have at least one. Blah blah. This is his recommendation. Newcomers must draw. For example, I'm using Translate here. I also messaged him on Discord. I'm also in his chat room. But research. This is his main comp he recommends you can use Gdoll on. It's similar to the poison. I recommend it in Blue Will. We all have different opinions. And his question is, no question whether to smoke or not, whether to skip or not. You must pull her, and blah, blah, blah. Subjective opinion, she is the best character in the game. So I'm just going to, I already went over this, and I messaged him privately. And this is Arki. Arki is a female content creator, and she's very good at game too. She specializes in Caro teams, and she runs Gdoll in her Thighs Caro team. So this is her video and her recommendations for Gdoll. Same as mine, her wheel and in-cow. So you can look at my Gdoll video for my thoughts on Gdoll. She is a must-pull. This is her wheel recommendation. Again, their Chinese community has a different meta. I only recommend putting this. But her suggestion is that all of these wheels are also suitable if you don't have that many resources, for example. And these are her comps. You can just go back here. These are her recommended comps. This is her main comp. This is like her like off-brand comp. She says this is okay, but not that good. This is her main Gdoll comp. She runs it with thighs, and she is of the opinion you don't need to pair thighs with Jellet. Jellet's fine on her own. And this is her preference for Gdoll for a main boss killing team. And she's a bit more insane and fanatic about Gdoll of all the content creators. She said in her video that if you don't pull Gdoll, your account is basically bricked. And Gdoll is a tier 0 unit. And she says, controversially, a lot of NA community, even I would disagree with her, that Gdoll is the strongest awaker in the entire game because of her 30% fixed damage, her poison, and her unique buffs. She loves everything about Gdoll. Again, I also think Gdoll is very strong. Taki also thinks Gdoll is very strong. Like, Taki believes that you must over-exalt her. You must pull one copy of her. Every new player must have one copy of her. Every guide maker, regardless of who you ask, will say you must pull her. I will not say if you don't pull her, your account is brick. Your account will be weaker. Every Chinese and Taiwan content creator I've listened to or I've watched on Bilibili says that if you don't pull her, your account was fucking break, delete the game, uninstall, buy. They even go further on. Some people with 20,000 views on Bilibili says like if you don't have her, just buy another account with Gdoll. That's how fervent they are about how broken she is on their tier list. She's like super high S tier on their tier list because they value her poison cap, her DN mechanic, which I go over in my video a lot. Because she is the only unit in the game that can just take 30% of the boss's max HP regardless of what you do. So you put her in weak team, she gets the N, 30% of the boss's HP just gone. Also, she's very good at healing, very good at support. Again, I do not think, if you ask the NA community, we are not that fervent in our belief of Gdoll, but China has a more skewed perspective because to get into their mindset, they value units based on their max potential. They don't value their units based on what a new player has. Like, if you're a welfare, if you only have them E0, they will never value a unit at E0. They will never value an underinvested unit. All of their tier list is based on the assumption you're going to pull for at minimum overexalt. And if you're going to pull for at minimum overexalt, she is one of the most powerful units in the entire game. That is without question. Now, they do not value units on a scale. Let's say if you're a new player, you don't have that many pulls. Then you can skip. They don't believe in that. They only believe in max power, so that's why they underrate. Some people will underrate Wanda. Wanda is very weak. Wanda is one of the weakest Awakers, but they compare her at +4. They said not poor because at +4, +12, standard Awakers are better. They're valuing units on the +4, +12 mindset. True max endgame. Because again, they do have the game for a year longer than we do. Keep that in mind. They have more pools than us. They have more resources than us. And they have more units than what you as a typical NA player would have. Just my thoughts. So if you're an endgame player with everything already, like why would you pull on a trash unit like Clem, for example, when you can pull on powerful units that are better than what you currently have? Which is what Gdoll is. She's better than what most people currently have at overexalt. Now, E1, E0, she, in my opinion, in most of NA community, she is not usable in Caro comps, Ultra comps. She's only usable in blue poison comps at underinvested. Why? Because she does not gain the permanent buff. She's hard to stack overexalt. She doesn't have that much value. But we all agree that you will save your dupes and it will eventually get her to overexalt. That said, pulling one copy and future you will thank you if you happen to have the dupes, come back to her. Or if you're doing an event and your team is shit because they have Clem, you can put her in and she'll do 30% of the boss's damage. What Arki has done, I'm going to pull up Arki. Arki has shown a 4 to 5 minute comp with Gdoll in the event. It is slower than what most endgame players want. It is slower than what she does. As you see in my other videos, endgame players are doing in sub 2 minute runs. So sub 2 minute is what you want for the event. I know a lot of you have spent like 10 plus minutes, which is fine if you're a new player. But Gdoll is one of the few units, like here. I borrowed Gdoll the most, 2 shots of weakness, and in the comments of that, I'm not logged in more to Billy V right now. In the comments, you can get it down to a comfortable 5 minutes in event bosses with Gdoll because of 30% fixed damage. You just end turn, and just fucking wipe out the boss. Again, she's very strong. Do I think she's the strongest Awaker in the game? I do not. I do not. I think she's very strong. I use her in my team. I use her in my main team. So I can speak to how strong she is. But again, I will not consider her the strongest Awaker in the game. Now, couple of that. They think she's better than Dies and Caro. They think she's better than every other support in the game. They think she's better than Miriam. I do not think she's better than Dies. I think Dies and her are on the same tier, S tier. As you look at my tier list. I think they're both very great with very different scenarios. Arki says that she's better than Dies in every way, and you should pair Dies with her instead of Gillett. She says that Dies should not be used on Gillett, Dies should be used on Gdoll, because Arki loves Gdoll. She loves Gdoll. Another female content creator says that, okay, before I end the video, I dig through all these videos on Billy, and another content creator who hasn't cleared all the content yet, so I don't feature them, but says that she will not date anyone who doesn't have... The actual translated comment is, she will not have a husband without Gdoll because he is low value. So take that what you want. She means that if you don't have Gdoll, she considers you a low value man. So that is not Arki, it's another content creator. I want to be hate of it. So the Chinese love for Gdoll is quite insane. So that's it for the video. That's the final opinion of Castor and Gdoll. Gdoll S tier, Castor A to S tier.